ladies and gentlemen, Vagran Gaming, and we've got Alexandra Zarya Nova, or also known as Zarya, and we've got a Voidstar. And I really like Voidstar. It's one of the missions where, if things go well, you always have something to do. It's one of the war zones where, at the very least, there's the attack phase where I won't have a long stretch of guard duty, potentially. I mean, you never know how things work out, because a lot of times if I'm rushing out and no one's going to the off node, I'll be the guy that just goes over and takes care of it. So, before the match started, one of my partners here, my guild leader, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name because I'm going to butcher it. We just call him Iggy for short. He's in the top left of the ops frame. He called out and he said, yeah, if you get incoming, call out. And, you know, as you can see, a few seconds into the first round, someone capped the door and he was not pleased. He didn't rage or anything, but he was not pleased. And I don't blame him. But it just made me think that sometimes you'll be on one door, and you'll say, yeah, call out if you need help, and then you're defending your half, and the next thing you know, the other side gets capped. And it can really grind your gears. Fortunately, I was having a good day. I wasn't too worried about it. I figured something happened and someone snuck up on somebody else. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's happened to me before. And we'll just, you know, we'll just go from there and work with it. So, right now, this character's gear isn't the greatest. I think the average rating is about 240 or so. So what I'm mostly hoping is to avoid getting drawn into any one-on-ones, unless I'm just trying to stall a healer or something like that, where I'm just trying to keep somebody busy. Fortunately, the way the battle was going, everybody was focused on some of the melee players, so I was able to hang back. And hang on, I'm going to try to root and boot this guy. There's the root, and here comes the boot. Fantastic. But anyway, yeah. I'm just able to hang back, stay out of the limelight, and just do range damage from afar without being noticed. I was tempted to try to punt this guy up, but I figured by the time the cooldown was up, it wouldn't work. That maybe was on the case, so if anybody had a knockback, it would be him. But, you know, things don't always go according to plan, and I might have thrown that net a little early, but it worked out in the end. Sometimes I would get into the habit of just saving them, and I wouldn't use them until, say, either a power tech was chasing me, or if we were trying to burn down like a Swtor healer, I'd try to wait till their health is down about 30%, and then I'd use the net. But because I was saving it a lot of times for just those specific scenarios, I'd go very long stretches and never use it, which is kind of a waste. I mean, the electronet is a really useful skill for like blocking somebody down. And, you know, like, it prevents them from using their escapes and stuff like that. So, there's nothing wrong with using it earlier if you have a chance to finish someone off. And right now I'm trying to chase down this gunslinger because they're a saboteur, and they can be very pesky with, like, all the rude slows and stuns and stuff like that they can do. So, I was trying to take it a little bit, and bang. That's a vortex bolt, and now I'm on the door. And now, one of the other things I like about playing a ranged class on a Voidstar is, if you have the opening to do it, you can stay roughly in this middle section and kind of cover both doors. Like, what I would do if I was just purely in a pug, I'd be on one door, try to hang towards the middle, and then every few seconds, I'd check the mini-map and then just run to the other side. And I sort of did that a little bit, although I was in voice chat with my guildmates, so if one of them said, you know, we're having some trouble, I would just drop what I was doing and run over. And also, I think about here, they also called out that the gunslinger was giving them some trouble. But I saw an opening to try to finish off that guy. He goes down. And so now I'm going to try to pressure the gunslinger. And I've been on a bit of a kick with XCOM 2, so I'm slightly out of practice. So my plan is mostly just to keep the guy busy. I've got enough of my defensive cooldowns available where I figured, you know, I can hold them off half decent, but I've said this multiple times, I'm not super comfortable with, like, being a duelist. I don't expect to do super well in one-on-ones. I usually just try to, like, cover my teammates, watch the objective, and, you know, hopefully things will work out. It's rare that I perform well in a duel. So, That's why I like having a team, so like, you know, our strengths and weaknesses can try to balance each other out. So, Iggy's pretty much got East locked down. If there's any issues, he'll call out like immediately. And that gives me an opportunity to just slide up here and then try to lend the assist. And I opened up on the gunslinger a little bit there just because he was super close and I figured I'd start shooting him before he started shooting me. It was only a matter of time. Just make a quick peek, and I can see there's one guy at the door, and again, being a fabulous range character, I was able to fire off a couple of shots from a, you know, just shy of my max range and lend a hand. And some nice crits. I love seeing 30k crits. If I had my gear fully optimized, I imagine I could do even more damage, but I'm a long ways away from 258s or 252s. Like, I was doing the grind on Oxus, you know, just like trying to get the weekly done every week on as many characters as possible. Got to be a bit much. And fortunately, with the way that bolsters are working, you can do decent, as you're seeing here, with lower tiered gear. Because if I understand it correctly, you're bolstered up to 252. Again, if I bump into somebody that has a full set of max gear, I'm probably going to get ripped apart one-on-one. But fortunately, I'm not the type of player that's just out running around looking for 1v1s. I actually like that aspect of the teamwork of, you know, finding a melee guy to focus fire off of, or another range. You know, working together with somebody else to help pressure and or finish off a healer. Like, to me, that's fun. But again, like, if you have fun chasing 1v1s, do you. Because honestly, like, every little bit of it plays a part. Because I've seen some people in Hudball, for example, where I might, by default, be focused on the objectives. Every now and then, in pursuit of that, I'll be standing next to someone who's just kind of like mostly focusing on getting kills. And if it helps the objective, I'll just focus fire off of them, hopefully melt them down fairly quickly, and then right back to the objective. So, you know, everybody plays a part. And pretty confident Iggy can handle this guy one-on-one, but, you know, like I said a minute ago, I like the teamwork, so I'm just firing some shots away to give him a hand, and now I'm right back over to the west door. And it was nice that we were able to hold them off there. I know that some of the people on the team were a little disappointed that we lost the first door so quickly, but we rallied pretty well on that second door. And by Iggy doing a good job of holding the east door by himself and then calling when he needed assistance, we were able to kind of have a big power play on the west door, which was, I think that was a decent part of why we held it for as long as we did, because virtually the whole team was on one side, and then I would, as an individual, would peel away, lend a hand, and then go back, and the numbers were pretty much on our side. So now's the fun time when we get to go attack. And I'm hanging back a little bit. I used to charge off like right away, but then one day I was like, wait a minute, I'm ranged. So I'd slow my roll, let the melee guys run in, see how things were shaping up, and then I would charge in. I was worried I might have hit that election a little early, but that was probably just about perfect. I figure if you can take him down and you don't see a bubble, you did it right. But then again, I mean, you have no idea what your opponent's cooldowns are like. It's quite possible that his bubble was on cooldown and it wouldn't have been an issue anyway. You never know. So, right now we're sort of pushing in towards the door. We had a couple of people towards the back, and as a quick note, this is like my favorite spot usually when we're attacking. Just like, you know, the west door, and I'll be a little bit to the west side of it. Should have rooted that guy, but I stunned him back here just to keep him away from the rest of his people temporarily. I know I'm not going to be able to burn him down in 4 seconds, but the idea was just, you know, keep the healer away for a little bit. The reason why I like this spot, and I've talked about this in a positioning video I did ages ago, the respawns are going to be coming more from the eastern area, so I've got a decent amount of a buffer between me and the respawn, and this is just a decent spot because the health pot is potentially right there if you need it. Hopefully you don't, but if you do, it's there. If someone comes at me, they'll have to cross across the entire divide where hopefully my teammates are. It just makes it slightly less likely that one, I'll get noticed, and two, that anyone will focus on me. And if they do, then I can start to circle around, and I usually, depends on the situation, but I'll usually circle around counterclockwise, which basically means rotating towards my teammates as they're respawning. And it's just a good safe spot. I'm really comfortable trying to play from this area right here. Also, it was a nice shot by that Merc there, and I totally wasted my stun. That was a mistake on my part. I wasn't paying attention. He had his hunker down up, and when that's down, just in case you weren't aware, most of you probably know this, when those metal bars are up over their defensive screen, they can't be stunned or anything like that. So, it was just a waste of a stun. But yeah, sometimes my fingers are faster than my brain. It's like, ooh, I'll stun him. Wait, that was a terrible idea. So, right there, I think the other commander there is one of my guildmates. He's a healer, and he called out saying that he thought there was an opening over here on the east door. So, I ran over, started attacking. He hit the reflect, so then I switched gears, threw a grenade, went for my mortar volley, because the AoEs can't be reflected. We're able to burst him down. 3-on-1, just a matter of time. And all I'm doing is hoping that I can get it. Yahtzee! For as long as I've been playing this game, it's always a highlight when I get to actually plant a bomb. I'm usually just trying to keep everyone away from the door. I'm more likely to be the person trying to stun the other guys to keep them from getting up to it, as opposed to the planter. So, that's a fun feeling. Although the best feeling, and I've said this a million times as well, best feeling, scoring a hot ball. Wouldn't trade that for anything. So, we're going to make our way up to the east. I'm trying to put some pressure on this healer. Nice 21k crit. And looks like his defensive screen is up. And yeah, some of his self-heals are kicking in. So he's just about back at full health. Pretty sure that Guardian has him guarded. Although I'm not really seeing that electric flash, so maybe he doesn't. So that might make it a bit easier to take him down. And, this is one of those things where I very well could have focus fired off of one of my teammates, but I figure if I can just keep putting damage on him, if anything, maybe I can get him to heal himself. And I try to go for the root and boot again. Unfortunately, his health line was up. So going for some straight damage. And yeah, his heals are coming in, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him. And yeah, he uses rocket boost to get some distance, which was a smart play. Stun him, get in position, bang! Right off the ledge. So it might not have been the most ideal way to use a stun, but I figured at least this way, the healer is now in the respawn, behind a barrier hopefully, and it'll... I've never actually timed out how long it takes to get through the full 4 bars, but either way, we're done. So, this was actually a fairly easy match to edit because I didn't have any deaths, which doesn't happen very often. Usually I'm getting killed left and right, so this was fun. And my damage was half decent. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope to have some more up this week. Feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you all again soon.